And okay, we're 10-8, and the number is 180, and the letter is G, and I need to click this full screen button right here, okay, because my name is Mig, and I'm speaking to an empty room, but I am speaking with my brother Robert. Say hello, Robert.
Hello.
I didn't click the quick game button. That's an important thing. Okay, so here we're back here. So the goal for today is try to get a main bus. Part of the main bus is going to be like making the sub bus for the science, and then like a stack of constructors, a stack of assemblers, excuse me, for making all of our different types of belt and things like that. That's called a mall. So we're going to work on the bus and the mall and a bunch of other stuff. We need to get another smelter assembly going for our steel. We need to get another smelter assembly going for our brick. But before we do any of that whatsoever, let's hit the M key. M is in Mig and Mujaki. So if we look now on the scrolled back version, just looking at the map, right, we can see that our radar's been doing work, and we've actually found that there are some bad guys way down there. Now, the interesting thing about the pollution, if you notice, the pollution is kind of barbell shaped, right? The pollution is the red overlay over the map space, right? The pollution in the center, like where the water is actually skinnier than it is north of the water and south of the water, and that's because the environment will soak up the pollution. The desert that you talked about before, the desert soaks up the least pollution. The forests and the water, I think the water, maybe not, certainly the forests that we're stuck in suck up most of the pollution. So in as much as we wander around cursing the forest because it makes us have to chop it down in order to be able to do anything, it actually also protects us from the pollution getting out to these beta bases way, way out over there. It'll still be a long while before the pollution gets to them and they get pissed off and come see us, but we do need to have our turrets ready for them. Now, certainly if we were savvy Factorio players with years of experience, we would see that on the map, see that they're still passive and still outside of the pollution range. Because they're still outside of the pollution range, that means they're not actually going to start mutating and getting stronger yet. So what we would normally want to do is like grab 20 or so turrets and 600 or so bullets and head down there and just massacre them. But that would be boring, and you know, it's good to kill them before they can get big and start attacking you back and stuff like that, but that would be boring, is essentially my only excuse for that, for not wanting to do that. So yeah, we're going to let them get to the pollution and actually attack us so we can have a little fun actually dealing with biters, because if we're not dealing with biters, we're not really learning about the game, right? So I probably don't need this that much anymore, but I had used it before. I will use it again. We can grab from these boxes now. So, one of the things that we're going to be thinking about is we're going to have a main bus that runs off to the left. Basically, the idea is we put all of our useful resources on a bunch of belts that run to the left, and then we split from those belts and go north and south. Some purists would only go north, but whatever. Split from those belts in order to do all of our assembly. Right? And so there you put all of the iron in one group and all the copper in another group, and your steel and your coal and your stone and your brick, and then some of the other things that we'll be making pretty soon. And then we use those further down the line. We split off of those lines to go feed those into assemblers to build us the things that we're going to want. Things like more assemblers and more belts, more inserters. Usually wind up pocket crafting power poles. There is an achievement you can get for only ever pocket crafting, I think, 111 items, which is like the minimum number of items that you need to get before you can get like assembly machines up and going and then do everything in an assembly machine. But we're not going to worry about that because we've already broken that one. So I think what we want to do before we really get going anywhere is probably just get a few more lines going. Can you do another smelter line above this copper, right? And do the exact same thing, but feed stone into the smelter line.
Okay, so making bricks.
Yeah, smelting stone makes bricks. But what we'll also want to do is actually run. You'll want to split the stone before you feed it into the smelter line and run it along. Just because we're also going to want a line of stone, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that. I don't remember Certainly you need it in modded. There might be people who are facepalming now because you don't need it in vanilla Factorio, but let's do it anyway because it's fun. Once you get the stuff up there, I want you to move these turrets up to be above that, right? Because we need to essentially have turrets around our outside perimeter. And I don't actually remember how many turrets we have, so I'm going to use the magic of radar guidance. So just standing there, I can very, very quickly go to the map, zoom in, and go look around. So it looks like we don't have turrets on our south side, and that's actually where the bad guys are. I do have some turrets in my pocket, so I'm going to go down there and do that. After I go down in there and do that, I'm going to come back up and make a steel line, which looks very, very similar to the iron line, except it then rejiggers the iron back into another set of smelters to make steel. I'm not close enough. Let me grab these. There we go. Alright, so in fact, while I'm at it, I'll start crafting up more gun turrets. Like that, one by one, so I have them available to me as they are built one by one. Might as well go over here and get the bullets. Bullets are important. Give you the iron to make more bullets. Thank you for making bullets, Mr. Lovely Assembler. How are we doing on power? Still less than 50%. Alright, so we can probably get away with a turret here at the corner of this guy to deal with anybody coming up in that direction. And then maybe just along the bottom here. Kind of want to, in the beginning, you just kind of want to space them out wide enough for them to just barely cover each other. Because in general, they're going to cut through the aliens until the aliens get more... Oh, my screen just died. That's a bummer. Anyway, they're going to cut through the aliens until the aliens get more evolved. Once the aliens get evolved, one dinky little turret is not going to be the best thing for it. So... Without long reach, manually filling turrets is an annoying pain in the rear, but hopefully we don't need these guys for a while. Oh, and it is horribly annoying to keep, like, tuck it into... Let's do you too. Fact. There we go. Stealing all the bullets for all the bullets. Groovy. Okay, so we got the bottom all set. Let's get some more stone furnaces going. Alright, how's your stone going?
Starting to set up some electric drills for it.
Ah, good. Oh, the other thing, we did research this, and we are not researching something right now, but we're not really in a hurry for research. What do I need? I need more
Need to
iron.
choose a new research. Automation 2 finished.
Yeah, hang on for a second. One of the other things that we can make are lamps. Lamps are useful things for human beings. Lamps are not useful things for game design, but the game designers decided it would be more, quote, fun, unquote, to make everything dark at night. So you can put lamps in, and it makes them brighter. You kind of don't need to do it on your smelter stacks, simply because the smelters themselves give off light while they're smelting. But it's helpful, especially to the poor YouTube people, right? So can't blame them. So yes, normally when you're modded, you get angry at that particular game mechanic, and you play with the mods that just give you normal light all the time, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. But we're not playing with those mods. We're playing full vanilla, so that's fine. Where did you go?
I'm here by the copper line.
Oh, there you are. Hello. I'm just
I'm about to break it off to bring some coal up to what will be the stone line.
Groovy. Alright, I'm going to basically do the same thing as this iron line, but then I'm going to turn the iron into the, basically going to feed that into another one in serial. Serially. So let's get that going. Let's see. Try to stay off of the copper, although this one gets long. Maybe I could back you up. To be honest, well, but then I've got steel, and I'm gonna have to deal with the copper, with the iron and the boxes. Yeah, fine, whatever. So one of the things that one learns after the first time one plays Factorio, and I'll just impart that to you, is that things take space, and space is super important. Like, space costs you resources, both in terms of the amount of belt that you need to deal with lots of space, and the amount of turrets that you need to defend lots of space. And I just realized I have no bullets. And if I got attacked, I get killed. So I'm going to run back down here. But you generally need a ton of space to do everything. And if you don't have enough space, the world turns into spaghetti on you. So I'm going to pick up these bullets. And I have a little iron to give to the bullet machine. Right? And so what we're going to do is we're going to give ourselves lots of space. We're going to have lots and lots of smelting stacks that go northward, right? And their outputs all hang westward. Then we're going to combine them all together into a much more condensed bus, and then we're going to keep running the bus westward. Do we have the ability to make hand grenades yet? We do not. We should. So, the next thing we're going to study is grenade. How do I get to grenades in vanilla? Oh, don't tell me I don't get grenades until green science. Ooh, ouch. Okay, well, that's fine. Fair enough. I must be misremembering. Grenades are great because they let you blow up the trees really, really well. The shotgun works okay, but the steel pickaxe is kind of a little bit faster than the shotgun. So we'll keep pickaxing for the trees for all the stuff we're going to need to do in order to go west. So for now, I'm going to ignore that. I'm going to start making another smelter setup that points westward, but for doing steel. And you go ahead and do the stone, and we'll... I'm going to give myself a running commentary because it's YouTube, but you can do what you need to do and go ahead and ask if you have any questions, yeah? I will assume that was a yeah. Alright, so one of those, and then one of those. Basically doing the same thing as I have right up above. Because that goes up, and then this goes up. Did I tell you about the Q key, Robert?
It empties or fills your hand, I believe.
Yeah. Well, when you hover over things, it fills your hand with whatever the thing was that you're hovering over, and that's the useful bits. Okay, so do something along these lines. Here is probably fine. Yeah. I'm gonna move it back. I'm not sure how much space I need to give the copper field here before we get into it. I'm gonna probably actually go down and run a separate iron line up. So one iron ore patch is feeding our iron and another iron ore patch is feeding our steel. At least in the beginning we're gonna need less steel, but still having the other iron patch going in the beginning is probably gonna be a great idea. Or not, or it's a complete waste of time, but it seems like the right thing to do. Okay. Can I get one more in here? Yes. So that is going to work. 4, 5, 6. How much? Remind me how much steel. So steel is a little bit weird in how they work. So I need to remember how this works. Right. 5 iron for 1 steel. So that's fine. We'll make a couple of a couple of a couple. approximately the same. That goes faster, huh? Oh, I don't remember the ratio. I think it's 2 to 1, but... frigify friggity frag. We'll find out. It's all good. Let's go ahead and just do 8 and 4. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. We'll give us extra space for it. Groovy. So, output becomes input. I don't have enough splitters. Sure. Groovy. So basically we build all these bits out, and then we get them going, and then we hook them up, and yada yada yada. Essentially we build a little factory to build a medium factory to build a big factory. Luckily the big factory just kind of sits on top of the medium factory, but the rest of it is kind of throwaway. Oops. Groovy.
How many stone smelters do you think we need?
Go ahead and do an 8 stack like the copper. That'll be way more than we need in the beginning, but we're good for it.
Stack? The coppers, there's like 12 of them. So.
Oh, is it a 6 stack? Okay. Yeah, when I give the number, I mean just how many are on one side. 6 is fine. 6
say
is fine.
again?
I said when I say a number, it's how many are on one side of the belt. So 6 is perfectly fine as well.
Okay.
I think it's 13 to saturate a belt. I think I need one more here on my iron line, but I don't care. It's not that important. And then, you know, I'm pissing off any of the cardinal rule players because knowing and strictly adhering to the ratios is part of how you are super, super successful and efficient at this game. But I don't know. I like to play the games. Yeah. And then I delete things because I'm dumb and I put them in the wrong place. Because that's the other part of playing Factorio, is being okay with the idea that you're going to screw it all up anyway, so just get ready to delete it and start over again. Because nobody can draw a straight line with a mouse, apparently. I should pay better attention. Get up some inserters. I'll maybe do another run back down here, get things going. What do we want to research? That's right, I went to go to do research for grenades, and then I didn't get grenades. Walls, sure. I'll go run some iron down here so we can have more bullets and more science and more belt. Do you have a strong armor, heavy armor? Or are you still running light armor?
I currently have light armor equipped.
So I think there's almost enough steel over here for you to get heavy armor, and I just put some more in to get the steel going. So feel free to come down here and pick up the steel so you can have heavy armor. Heavy armor is way better than the light armor. And if we do get attacked, it's... Oh, so if we do get attacked, it's useful to know how to fight back. Hold your mouse over the bad guys and hold down the space bar and you'll shoot if there's a bad guy there. If not, it won't do anything with the space bar. If you want to shoot on purpose for the sake of shooting something, you can use the C key. One of the most useful ways, there's really no way in vanilla Factorio to dispose of items. Once they're created, they kind of exist forever. The one easy way to dispose of items is to put them in a chest and then kill the chest. If you blow up the chest, then the items in the chest go away. So, like my original iron pickaxes and our 2 pistols are in a chest right now, and I'm going to hold my mouse over it and hit the C button. And now they're gone. And we don't have to worry about them anymore. Okay, very quickly you run out of red science to work on. So we'll go ahead and do it. Oh, bollocks, I'm out of coal. Let's get some lights up in here, too. Lights are good. Chai. Grab some coal for the steel smelter. How are you on belt?
I was just coming down to get more because I ran out completely.
Okay. Well, how are you on
I'm
bullets?
also going to use some of the steel plate to make a steel pick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sorry. I mean, that's why I like to get steel as one of the early ones, because you need your pick to kill trees, right, until you can get hand grenades.
Should I just make... Yeah, I'll just make one. They look like they last a long time.
They last okay. I'm about 60% through mine. I'm just past halfway.
About 50%, or yeah, a little under 50% on my iron axe, so... Now I will put the rest of the steel back in the box.
Right, groovy. Okay. Every time I say that, I want to say that we're 10-8 again. But everybody knows we're 10-8. If you're here and you can tell that I'm saying we're 10-8, then you know dang well we're 10-8, yo. Groovy. Anyway, we were meticulously placing clusters of inserters. Click, 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 click. Now you can see that these are kind of expandable. They're essentially modular, right? You can make more of these modules just by splitting all of the stuff up. Let's see, I need more electric poles. Bollocks. Alright, I'm going to do a little trick here. I don't have to do this, but it's fun. You're going to be on the outside, right? Good. I will need more, and I will need more, and I will need more. Alrighty. Fantastic. So now I've got all my coal hooked up down there. I've hooked up my coal in a very interesting and kind of special way, so we'll talk about it once I actually have the iron up there. Okay. Bollocks. And unfortunately I can't draw a straight line, so now I get to pick up all the mess that I make. That's how mess making works. You know, actually... So again, paying attention to space is important. I started to run a line for the iron ore, and then I realized that that line for the iron ore might be in a space that I'd want to use for another smelter line. So now I'm going to do a different pattern to make more space. So hopefully I mean, at least right now, bollocks. So a lot of the time too, it's good to start running. I don't want to do that. It's good to start running lines like without the stuff on them. You run the lines that you're gonna need first, right? And then only once you have the lines run, do you bother putting anything on them. That
Yeah,
way,
I've been laying out my lines, and I haven't hooked up any power poles, and I haven't hooked up the coal yet, so it's just blank. And then once it's ready, then I'll start hooking things up.
yeah, you're actually a little loud. I'm gonna turn you down a little bit. That's
Sorry.
fine. No, that's fine. Don't try to actually also correct. Then you'll get too quiet, and we'll chase each other around a bunch. I forgot what I was doing. Oh, I was getting more belt. I was dropping some more iron into the iron consuming monster. How are we doing on... Yeah, we're almost out. Well, I'm almost out too. Alright. So, you know, one of the things that we're going to want to also do, the first split that you do off of your stuff before you go into your main belt is you make your sub belt for your science, because you want the science to have the most whoops. You want your science to have essentially the most priority for your resources. One of the things that I want to talk about is this weird little thing with the double undergrounds right here, but that's going to make more sense once I actually get some iron into the system. So give me a second. I got to cut some trees.
I gotta get more belt.
Yeah, you know what? I can probably just get rid of all you guys. Okay. Groovy. Chop the trees, find the nice little patch of iron ore that we can actually consume. I think we need this tree gone. Okay. We should have been doing electric mining drills the whole time, so chopping trees is pretty stupid if I don't actually have mining drills in my pocket to use after I'm done chopping the trees. We'll get you. We'll get you. Oh! And by the pricking in my pants is something wicked this way dances. So for now, we're going to call it here. We're going to start up another episode pretty quickly after this, and we hope to see you there. But for now, my name is Mig. I'm joined by my brother Robert, and we're 10-7. Over and out. Hey, we're 10-8, and the number is 180, and the letter is G, and I realized what the silly keystrokes were that were screwing me up and taking me out of full screen, so there we go. My name is Mig. I am speaking to an empty room. I'm here with my brother. Oh,